This is episode 61 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
And I'm Sam Cooper. And here we are with yet another X-Wing game between Sean and not me. It's actually the resident, I guess, tin champion at this point, Chris Burnett.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to go for a bit of modesty in this game, and in no way say this is top dog versus top dog, alpha against alpha, me versus the best of the Burnetts.
No, you got it wrong. It's not Chris v. Chris. It's Chris v. you, Sean.
Thank you for that, sir. I'm gunning for a second in the league. But yes, Chris is currently 8-0 in the league, and this is his last game. So the question basically is, can we blemish his record? I wish to be that fly in the ointment. But on that note, let's jump into the lists because it's interesting. And I'm not so much because I'm playing Chris, but actually, you and I, Sam, have quite a close competition now for second place. And to be fair,
I'll take your word for it.
So we're on the same win and loss,
right?
So with the same amount of games played before this game, and actually Snappy is up there as well. It's between the three of us basically for second place, and I kind of want second because it means I'm guaranteed to get one of the prizes that I want. So to that end, I've brought the best list I have to beat whatever Chris has brought, and the best list that I feel most comfortable with, I suppose. So Republic's been put aside for a second, and I have brought Rebel Alpha Strike. And my Rebel Alpha Strike consists of Wedge with an R4, Elusive, Predator, and Protorps. Luke R3, Torps, Trick Shot, and Heightened Perception, as opposed to Shattering Shots. Dutch in the Y-Wing with an R3, Plasma Torps, and a Dorsal Turret. And then Fenrau in the Sheathapede with an R4, Tristan Wren, and Swarm Tactics. And for those people that don't know, Tristan Wren's ability is when a ship performs I don't know technically what the definition is, but it's the missile range shot. So it's basically missiles or torps, ordnance.
Yeah.
At range 0 to 3, you may spend one charge, it's recurring, to change a hit to a crit result. So it's crit generation. And
seems legit.
On things like torps, it's good because you're just doubling down on that crit, which is actually relevant because we're playing Salvage Mission today.
Hitting crits through is going to make people drop stuff.
For the first time in a while, I don't think I've played Salvage, but do you want to have a quick shifty through Chris's list?
Yeah, I guess I should. So Chris has brought Resistance, and he's got Poe Dameron. I'm going to guess this is Super Poe?
This is Commander Poe because he's 6 points.
I don't know the difference. He's got...
Trigger Happy is 7.
Fair.
And
but he's got...
Sorry, I was just going to say the basic difference for people who don't know is Commander Poe, it's 2 charges to do an extra attack, but it can be another ship, I think range 0 to 2. Whereas Trigger Happy, it's basically every turn, but only himself.
Yeah. And he's rocked up with Heroic, Swarm Tactics, Integrated S-Foils, and Proton Torpedoes. Then we've got Zori Bliss in the Y-Wing, with Dorsal Turret, R4 Astromech, False Transponder Codes, Wartime Loadout, and Plasma Torpedoes. Now, when was the last time you saw a Wartime Loadout Y-Wing?
Zori tends to be the only one because she's the only one with enough loadout points to then add stuff in afterwards. So,
Kaz in the Fireball with Notorious, R1J5, False Transponder Codes, Advanced Slam, Targeting Computer, and Kaz's Fireball. And finally, Coven Nell in the Resistance Transport with Heroic, Leia Organa Crew, and an R4 Astromech.
Yeah,
it's basically Resistance Alpha Strike. Yeah. And my first gut reaction when I saw this was like, doesn't the Resistance one just lose?
I mean, my gut is it comes down to who gets the better engage and gets the locks. First player is going to play a big part in this, because there's a lot of shields on the resistance side to soak up damage, with the exception of Kaz. But there's also, heroic to counter blankouts.
Yeah, I guess. Like it's just that I guess my first reaction was I just saw this like, well, the entire rebel list shoots at I6, and
Yeah.
only half the resistance list shoots at I6. So the resistance may very well lose a ship before it gets to shoot.
There's also false transponder codes to
Yeah, that's true.
combat locks from the rebels. So there are tools there to deal with it. But on that note, as we've mentioned, we're playing Salvage Mission, and we rolled off for first player, and I was first player during setup. And basically, we've got the centre one on my right in the centre, on the centre line as far right as you can go. One that I placed on my bottom edge, just right of the centre, and down at range 2. One up at Chris's, as I'm looking at it, top right. So you've got 3 on that side, basically, the centre, and 1 on Chris's top left side. And then obstacles, we've brought basically 6 of the small rocks, and they are all clustered. 4 of them clustered in the bottom right between those 3 objectives, and then there's 1 on each of the objectives on Chris's side of the board. So a small cluster to negotiate through, and a lot of open space, which is pretty much what I want. I'm going to try and stick to that open space.
Yeah, because seems like the plan for both people, to be honest.
I want to fly in a nice tight formation. So we overlap at initiative 4, 5, and 6.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so I'm first player, so I put Dutch down on the left-hand side, about 4 ship bases in, with the big open space in front of him to go up, to turn towards the centre in the big open space, basically go past that little cluster of rocks. Chris then sets up Kaz and Kova on the opposite corner, 4 and 5 ship bases in. I'm guessing his plan is to basically see where I go. Kova can slightly come into the centre. Kaz, with his slam, has the ability to dive down and round through the rocks. I set up Luke next to Dutch on the outside. Zori goes down on the outside of Kova. Fen and Wedge go behind Dutch and Luke, and Poe goes next to Zori. So yeah, I'm expecting Chris to maybe scoot down the side a little bit and delay. There are lanes for him to turn into, but what I'm genuinely expecting is definitely turn 1 we go straight, turn 2 maybe we go straight again, and certainly by turn 3 we've hard turned into the centre and we end up jousting in the centre. With the exception of Kaz. I think Kaz flies off and flanks. But
yeah, because I was thinking like this like looks like, if I was Chris, I'd be like, well, I guess I'm going to grab some objectives because they're mostly on my side of the board.
Yeah,
and 2 of my ships don't care about boosting or barrel rolling, right?
I'd argue that one
like, does Zori really care?
Not that she's getting a calculate from it, because she doesn't have that ship ability, but with her ability to copy another ship's action, it would curtail that opportunity, shall we say?
Yeah,
I don't think she cares about it, but yeah. But like Kaz, I wouldn't expect to pick one up, because not only does it shut down a barrel roll, it shuts down the slam as well.
Yeah. I was thinking Kova and Zori
yeah.
can just happily pick one up and not really be bothered about it.
As for me, I'm basically aware that I'm setting up away from the objectives. I'll pick one up if the opportunity arises, but I'm basically objectives are secondary. I just need to kill stuff.
Yeah,
is how it goes. So yeah. So we roll off for turn 1, and Chris is first player. So Kova does a 1 straight and just takes a focus. Kaz does a 3 straight, and then slams into a 3-bank towards the board edge, which pretty much nicely sets him up for a hard turn the next turn to pick up the objective if he wants to, or to slam in through the rocks.
I was going to say, the irony of us saying that Kaz doesn't really want to, as he immediately jets after one.
Well, I mean, jets out after one, or, I say, gets into a good flanking position.
Yeah.
So, basically, to save on... My entire list is going to 3 straight, because I want to get as much distance as I can without stressing people, because obviously the Y-Wing can only do that 3. Just because depending on where Chris had gone, if Chris had come in a little more aggressively than I expected, I didn't want to limit Dutch's options next turn by being stressed. If I have to turn in, I need Dutch to have his actions. So,
yeah.
Hence why I kept it to the 3 and didn't push it to a 4. Zori does a 3-bank, basically aiming right towards the centre objective. So Chris is not super aggressive, but a little more aggressive. He is already facing in towards that centre area, so it isn't going to just scoot down the board edge. And then Poe does I think a 3 straight and a boost round. And yeah, so that's that. No objectives scored. And I'm looking at that thinking, okay, he's coming in, but if I start banking in, none of the hard turns are ideal for me, because a 2 hard doesn't give me the distance I want, and a 3 hard, it also leaves me facing the rocks further down the line, and a 3 hard stresses Dutch. And Chris is far enough back that I don't think that he's necessarily going to be within range shooting this turn. So my basic plan is another 3 straight to chuck me up the board edge. And then we'll 2 hard the next turn.
Yeah, no, I can see that. I was thinking maybe a 2 straight, just just center yourself.
The reason I went for the 3 straight was to give myself a little more distance upwards. Basically, so depending on what Kaz did to deny him the ability to be able to turn in and get a shot straight away, it also gives me the opportunity that if one of my ships wanted to then turn in and end up barrel rolling to catch Kaz, I could.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the general plan. We roll off, and Chris is first player again. And Kaz does the 1 hard, and then ironically picks up a objective.
I mean, it's free at the minute, right?
Yeah, I say it's just that, he can't barrel roll now, he can't slam, he can't. I don't think he can do any of the other bits, but it was an interesting choice. But it means you're picking up points.
Yeah, I don't mind it here because there's so much distance between Kaz and the enemy.
Yeah,
you can slow roll and just bank some points.
Yeah.
And then, if you really want to, just drop the objective yourself.
Yeah. Is it an action to drop the objective?
I thought it was just in the end phase. You can choose to drop the objective before scoring, or after you activate or something.
Interesting. Good way.
I will quietly look that up.
That's just a good way of shifting it around. But anyway, yeah. So Cova does a 1 hard and picks up the objective in Chris's top right. I do my 3 straight and take a focus with Dutch. Zori only does a 2 straight to jump over a rock she was near, or skirt past, I should say, and takes a focus, which means I know that we're not engaging this turn, which is fine. So Luke does his 3 straight focuses. Poe does, I think, 1 straight and then boosts in.
Okay.
And the rest of my ships follow up behind. So basically, this turn, I know that Zori and Poe are coming in. Kova's likely turning down. So I'm going to have to turn in and engage. And this game, not the game, this first engage is really going to be impacted by who moves first. because it is going to determine who gets locks on who.
Yeah.
Because I think ideally at this point, I probably want to get a lot of locks on Zori or Poe. They're like if I can burn down Zori quickly, great. Yes, it's only a Y-wing, but it's a 5-point Y-wing.
Yeah. I mean, actually, you say that, but like, I don't think you moving Dutch first actually impacts you that much, because if Dutch moves first, you focus, then the 5s move, and then Fen can coordinate that target lock.
So which lets me get it on Zori for sure, but probably denies me the ability to pick one up on Poe. And considering Dutch and Luke are both triggering R3s, you want that.
Yeah, but Kova will be there as well.
Oh yeah. No, I'm not saying that aren't opportune. Just maybe not the ships I would prefer.
I don't know. Like, I guess this is a bit different because, like, if I'm in this thing and it's an Alpha Strike, I'm thinking if I can just burn someone off the table before they can do anything, then victory. Like, Poe can do whatever he likes. If I get 3 shots into Zori and she goes down, winning.
Yeah. But we roll. Or we should roll in a second.
Or do you jabber?
Oh, we might jabber. We might jabber a little bit.
How dare you chat? I looked it up, by the way. After you activate, you can drop the thing for free.
Okay.
And then your opponent places it.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So you can't drop it and then slam the turn you drop it. So you move action, then you can drop it for free.
So here we go. And we roll. And Chris is first player. So that is interesting. By the way, I forgot to mention, Chris scored 2 points at the end of last turn for the 2 objectives he had.
He has 2 objectives.
So Kaz does I think that was a 1 bank and takes a focus.
Yeah.
Kova does a 3 bank. She layers it to make it white. So she gets her extra dice and takes a focus. Dutch does his 2 hard and takes a focus.
Makes sense.
Zori does a 2 bank and takes a focus. Luke, 2 hards behind Dutch, goes for a lock and only has a lock onto Kova. Zori isn't in range, which is not ideal because it means I'm not getting my entire strike
into one target.
So Poe 1 banks in behind, takes a target lock, has no one in range. Zori then triggers and takes a target lock onto Dutch with her ability. And then Poe doesn't double action, I don't think. Fen, 2 hards next to Dutch, coordinates a target lock. Dutch locks Zori and Kova. Did
you give Fen the random lock?
I did not. I give it to Wedge.
Okay.
And Wedge locks Zori. I could have locked Kova because I'm probably not in range for the Protop this turn. But my thoughts were, if I just get that lock on, then if I end up getting bumped a lot in the next turn because we're going for a melee, Wedge has got a lock already.
Yeah, true. That's true.
Was my thinking there. And then he 2 hards and takes a focus. So we go to the engagement. We know that Poe doesn't have a shot. He swarm tactics Zori up to I6. And I swarm tactics Dutch up to I6.
And Luke, why not?
No, I don't want to waste the force here. That didn't really seem relevant. Like, Luke can't shoot Zori anyway, so he's shooting before Kova, so...
And with the golden rule of Luke, spend the force like it's water.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe that analogy these days doesn't quite hold as much.
So, Zori engages. We check Fen's arc. She's in Fen's arc, so Fen takes a stress to deny her any token mods.
Aye.
She still decides to fire a plasma into Dutch, which I think is probably...
I actually like these odds.
Yeah. It's the right call. Chris and I were talking, it's just more dice. And if you can get 1 through, you've automatically done 2 damage.
Yeah.
And he rolls hit crit. I blank, so I lose the 2 shields and take the crit. Because of course. And the crit is a damage sensor array.
Awkward.
Awkward.
Well, you've already got a lock, so I guess.
Awkward indeed. Right. So we then go to Dutch. And Dutch fires a plasma torp into Zori. Return the favour. I spend the lock. Should have mentioned that Dutch doesn't have his focus anymore because when Zori locked it, it triggered false transponders.
Oh yeah.
So that got jammed away because it
Interesting that Chris chose to break the focus and not the lock.
Because I didn't have the lock at the time because that was a coordinate from Sheathbead. So I rolled 2 hits and an eyeball. And a blank, and I spend the lock to re-roll it into an eyeball. So 2 hits. Chris rolls 1 evade, so takes 2 shields because it's a plasma. Then we go with Wedge, who goes into cover because it's the only shot he's got. Spends focus for 2 hits. Cover rolls 1 evade, so loses a shield.
Blinky blink.
And then Fen. What do I do with Fen? Fen goes into cover because I was basically trying to just strip the focus mod before Luke shoots.
Yeah.
I didn't think Fen's 2 dice on model were likely to do anything to either of them, so we go with that. I roll hit blank. Chris rolls 3 blanks, and then heroics into 2 evades and a focus.
That's just how heroic works.
That's how heroic works. So I then go to Luke, and Luke fires a protorp into cover.
Yep, may as well.
So I roll crit, focus, blank, blank. Not the best protorp. Spend the lock on the blanks and roll them into blank, blank.
Lovely. That's what we want to see.
I mean, it's not. Ironically, my munitions are not brilliant in this game. So I spend a force to flip the eyeball and then obviously crit because it's a protorp for 2 crits. Kova rolls blank eyeball, spends the focus, and I plink off 1 more shield. And make her drop the objective, more importantly.
Yep, and that is relevant.
Kaz has no shot, and then Kova range 3s into Dutch, rolls hit crit out of hand, and I roll eyeball blank, so I take hit crit, and the second crit is a console fire.
Alright, well, at least you've already engaged.
At least I've already engaged. Dutch is down to 3 already. Not ideal, because I've plinked 4 shields. But not end of the world by any stretch. And Chris scores 1 more objective, so goes up to 3. And then basically we're going to melee in the corner. My first thought was just I 1 straight and do what I can, but then I was like, well, Kova's going to come in, and so I'm like, Dutch is already down to 3. So what I actually decided to do is fling Dutch up with a 3 bank.
Okay, I like that.
Because either I go second and the likelihood is I probably bump into Kova, or I go first and block Kova. But either way, it's trying to get the block on Zori as well.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then I've still got, Fen. I think Fen's going to actually 2 bank behind to basically relieve the stress, but also keep the ships in my arc, which he wants, and then coordinate. And then the 2 T-70s are going to 1 straight behind because they've got the distance back to do that. And I also felt that if Kova came in maybe a bit faster than I was expecting to try and block Dutch to block Luke, for instance, the 3 bank might jump behind, and then Luke has a nice clear space.
Yeah.
So that was the plan there.
And for me, on Chris's end, I feel like he just moves slow. Like, it's going well.
I wasn't expecting a rush in. Maybe.
Yeah.
maybe a 2 or 3 from Kaz to jump the other side of the.
I mean, I feel like Kaz could get away with doing a 1 for the minute.
Because I was thinking you could then slam behind.
He's still got his thing, so he can't
That's
slam.
true. That is true. But yeah, Poe and Zori, I'm expecting probably a 1 straight.
Yeah.
But Kova just like, because I know that 3. Obviously, he wants to reveal Reds when he can. So the 1 hard maybe, but I was thinking maybe another 3 bank.
Yeah.
Puts him right in a blocking position with still probably a decent range 1 shot on either the Sheathapede or Wedge.
I can even see a stop here, to be honest.
Or a stop. But yeah, so that's the game plan. And yeah, we roll off. And I'm first player, which is actually quite good for me. And I 3 bank with Dutch. I'm an hour about repairing the console fire. But I was... Honestly, I think even with some bumps and stuff, I think Dutch probably dies this round.
Yeah, that's a good chance.
So I thought, let's not worry about the console fire. Let's take the focus. And, you know, I'm going to get him to engage at I6 anyway, so he's not going to get initiative killed. So he'll get to shoot before he goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do that. Kova actually reverses.
So, okay, yeah, that seems fair.
That's actually worked out very nicely for me because I've still got a lock on Kova, which means she's just reversed out of range 1, so I can fire my second plasma at her before I die.
Nice.
Which is like quite good in my books. And I think Chris, I'm an art here about whether to pick up the objective or take the focus. But in the end, opts for the focus.
Yeah, I think the focus is better because there's a plasma torp staring at you. There might be another torp staring at you. Take the focus. Try and just live.
Yeah. Obviously, he'd spent the force with Leia there, so that reverse was white. Kaz does do the 1 straight and just takes a focus. Luke 1 straights and takes a target lock. I have everyone except Poe. So I end up taking locks on... so I take a lock onto Kaz first, which triggers his false transponder codes and immediately jams that lock away. And then with the R3 action, take a lock onto Zori. So basically, I've burned... The false transponders are both gone now, so I don't need to worry about that. It seemed like Zori was always going to be my target there. It just seemed like a good use of getting rid of it now and not worrying about it in the end game. Zori does a 1 straight, sticks herself range 1 of Dutch, and takes focus. The 2 bank from the Sheathapede, and I screw up here badly. So I coordinate Wedge a focus because I forgot that Wedge had a lock on Zori already, and it's slightly hidden behind the engines. And when I think I was looking at the actual angle I was looking at, I couldn't see it at all.
Right.
But that was on me for not remembering. So my intention is Wedge is doing a 1 straight. Wedge can then take a target lock onto
Zori,
which I don't need to do. What I should have done was now coordinated Dutch probably to repair his console fire, or even just taken a focus.
I mean, you already had a focus, right?
No, sorry. Actually taking a focus on the Sheathapede.
Oh, yeah.
They do have a non-coordinate action.
I don't believe you.
But yeah, that was a misplay, not remembering. Literally, last round I'd taken a lock. But hey. Then Wedge goes 1 straight, and then I go, I've already got a lock. Damn, alright, guess I just don't take an action. Didn't really want to barrel roll. And then Poe does a 1 straight, takes a focus. Commander pose himself to take a target lock, by which point Chris has some fun and ends up with 3 locks on himself. But he takes a lock onto Wedge, which triggers Zori. So Zori can take a lock, and then she realizes that she's got a lock on Dutch, so she moves that over to Wedge. So Wedge has now got 2 locks on him, and probably taking a plasma and a Protorp. So not a necessarily ideally happy Wedge.
No, I can imagine he's not.
But hey, so we go to the engagement phase, and I'm first player, so I swarm tactics Dutch up to I6, but I also spend a force with Luke to heighten perception up to 7, because Chris has swarm tactics Zori up to 6. So my thoughts there is, if I put a Protorp into Zori, get lucky and she's got 3 shields left. If I get lucky and she blanks out, which on a one defense dice is possible, sneak a crit through that is something like a blinded or weapons failure takes a lot of the sting out of her, especially when I can then fen her so that she can't spend any tokens. I felt that was worth the false point there. So I fire the Protorp. Slightly better this time. I roll hits, crit out of hand.
2
focuses. Now, I've only got 1 force because I've spent 1 already. So I actually spend the lock to reroll both focuses here. Because I figured 1 hit, 1 blank is the same result as spending a force. If I get lucky and it's 2 paint, I'm no worse off, and I might be better off. I could have just re-rolled 1, but I figured 2 dice. The odds are one of them contains paint, so and I roll them into 2 hits, so winning. I Protorp 1 crit, and then I Tristan Wren another, so I end up with 1 hit and 3 crits. Chris rolls a blank. Oh, I must have missed some shields, because apparently she's just taken a lot of damage, so apologies, I must have missed on the overlay that she'd taken some extra shields somewhere, probably from a shot last turn, because I think I've put... Hang on, so I've done 4 damage, and she's taken 2, so she must have had 1 shield left. I must have not plinked 2 off the overlay. Apologies, I get so into the game sometimes that I forget to...
no excuse.
I've stopped putting the turns on the actual overlay because, this game I remembered it up to turn 5 and forgot about it. Spoilers: we make 11 turns in this game.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I've stuck. I stuck 1 crit through as a direct. So I must have literally just missed 1 shield. She had 2 shields left, so I blinked shield. 3 shields left, and the crit was a direct. So down to 2, basically.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, okay, I'm happy, because realistically, I think Zori dies now. So even if Dutch goes with her, that's fine. I've traded a 4-point Y-wing for a 5-point Y-wing. So yeah, Dutch enables a lot of the the extra locks and the efficiency, but
now you're in the scrum, he's most of his value is in theory gotten by now.
Yeah. So that's I7. Then we go to I6, and it's me. I do consider doing Fen first and just throwing a range 1 into Zori, but I've got the lock with Wedge, and at that point I think I just go for the kill shot.
Yeah, definitely.
And I fire one of my Protorps because she has no defense dice. I've just got to put those 2 through. I felt that was worth it, rather than I could have done Fen. I could have then done a dorsal, but then Wedge doesn't have great shots. He's got a range 3 onto Poe, but no lock. I felt no, just go for the kill shot. It's worth it. Yes, she's going to get to shoot, but then Fen can shoot Poe if he wants, or can shoot Kova. Dutch can throw his plasma into Kova. It might be overkill, but I felt it was the right decision just to guarantee that death, basically.
Yeah.
So I do. I fire the Protop. And I roll 4 blanks. Right. Okay. So I spend the lock. And I roll it into 2 hits and a crit, which, with 2 left and no defense dice, is fine. And the crit that went through was a blinded pilot.
Ooh.
Which is hugely relevant, because what it means is I don't need to worry about fenning Zori, because she effectively is already, which means I can then keep Fen for Poe shot.
Yeah, and that's going to be a money shot.
Yeah, and that's shut down. That's made those 2 munitions that were both going into Wedge a lot less dangerous.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they've basically both gone from double modded to natties. So...
Well, natties is where it's atty.
So I do Dutch next, and Dutch fires his plasma. I roll the console fire, and Dutch takes a damage, which puts him down to 2. I then fire the plasma into Kova. I get 1 hit, 1 crit, and 1 blank. I spend the lock and re-roll that into a hit. Chris rolls 1 evade, so blocks the crit, but loses a shield, loses the last shield, and then takes a damage card. And then Fen range 2s into Poe, I think, and doesn't roll anything. But that's fine.
Well, it's just Fen.
It's just Fen. And that's like my entire list that is shot first there, so...
Yeah. That's pretty spicy.
Yeah, but now I take the return beating, because, despite killing a ship, I'm still taking all 4 shots. So I think he goes with Zori first, and I believe he fires the plasma into Wedge, because you might as well, before you die, you've got it there.
Yeah.
He rolls hit eyeball. I roll evade blank. I elusive the blank into a second evade. So happy days.
And Wedge lives.
Yeah, Wedge
doesn't even lose a shield.
No, Wedge takes nothing. And that's Zori gone. Then Poe goes. Dutch takes his stress because Wedge is in arc not Dutch, Fen, to deny the mods. He still fires the Protop into Wedge. Again, it's weighted dice. It's 4 on 2 as opposed to 3 on 2.
Yeah.
And rolls 3 hits. Oh no, he doesn't. Ignore me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm only rolling 1. He actually goes into Dutch because it's range 1.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because I've got 1 green here. But I still try and deny the mods. But he rolls 3 natties. I roll an evade. I spend the focus. Sorry, I roll a focus, spend the focus turn and evade. But I still take 2, and Dutch dies, which is fine because that was the expected.
Yeah, like the Y-wing for Y-wing was the expected trade.
Yeah. Kova goes range 3 into Fen and rolls hit, crit. And I get 2 evades, so I lose the shield. And then it's Kaz. And Kaz takes the range 2 obstructed onto Fen, which I natty and dodge. So at the end of turn... Oh, and then Chris collects a point for Kaz's objective. So at the end of turn 4 already, still 45 minutes on the clock. I've lost Dutch, and I've lost a shield on Fen. And I've also spent, I think, all my munitions except 1 Protop on Wedge by this point. So I kind of alpha striked already. But Chris has lost Zori, and Kova's down to 3 hull.
I mean, you take that,
so,
right?
Yeah, but we're in the scrum now, so the munitions I don't feel are quite as important. You've got those strikes off, and now you're going to be 4 dice range 1-shotting anyway. So I need to finish off Kova, and I kind of need to get some damage cards on Kaz so that he's not getting his extra dice and stuff. And then we'll see about Poe, basically. But yeah, so So this turn, I'm expecting Cova to come forward. In fact, all right. I was about to say for people on the overlay, I'm expecting the 3 bank. Because I expect it to come in. It's red, it gets her the extra dice, and she, wants that, and it gets her in, and then she can start blocking. So we roll off, and I'm first player, but I have no 4s because it's dead. So Cobra goes first and does do that 3 bank, and takes a focus. Kaz does a 1 straight and takes a focus. So it's Luke next. Luke does I think that was a 2 bank. Excuse me. Bumps into Cova, and I opt not to take the red focus.
Okay.
The reason being, Fenn's done a 3 straight, which jumps him over the back, because I thought that Cova might come in quite fast. So jump over the back. Because he's got a rear arc, he can still do his trigger, because it's in the firing arc.
Nice.
And what it means is I can now coordinate a target lock to Luke, who locks Poe and Cova, because I'm reasonably sure that Poe either bumps into Cova or has done like 1 straight that just fits and is going to take a range 1 shot from Luke. Which, okay, if I'm having a range 1 shot that's double modded into me from Poe, I'd like to at least give 1 back.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I do a 1 straight with Wedge, and I am an R about just taking a lock. But in the end, I actually decide to barrel roll, and I barrel roll up. The reason being, if Poe had done a 1 straight and lock focused, he'd have his shot all focused because he's got a lock on Poe. At least I'm shooting. I could shoot Poe back, but it also gives me a range 1 shot onto Cova.
Who focus fire is the name of the game.
Exactly. But it also, I was hoping, would take me out of Kaz's arc.
Yeah, that looks close.
And I felt taking the less shots was probably the better call. Poe doesn't do a 1 straight. He actually 1 banks. Excuse me a second. Yeah, he 1 banks, which slides past Luke. So clears his stress. And then opts for a boost to the right, and basically slides side by side with Wedge. And I look at that and I think, I don't think we're shooting at either of us there. Which means if I have slidden out of Kaz's arc, I'm only taking 1 shot this turn.
That's okay.
Whereas Cova's going to take 3. Alright, admittedly one of them's a range 0, but it's still 3.
It's a shot.
Exactly. So I check for swarm tactics so I can swarm Luke up to 6. But it's irrelevant because Poe swarms Cova up to 6. So it's
the power of swarm tactics.
It's all a happy 6 party here. But I am first player, so I Luke first. Just to get that one out of the way and see if I can strip the focus. And I roll hit crit. And he rolls evade focus, so he does spend the focus to dodge it.
Nice.
Which is great, because it now means his defense is unmodded against my unmodded attacks. So,
and attacks are better than defenses, so
especially when most of mine
good.
are range 1 and one of them's Wedge. So, happy days. So, Fenn goes it first out of his rear and rolls 1 crit, which is blocked, and then Wedge goes range 1 out the front and rolls nothing.
Ooh.
Yeah, 2 blanks, 2 eyeballs.
Ooh.
So, alright, not what I was hoping for, but it is what it is, I suppose. I take the range 1 from Cova into Wedge. He rolls hit crit. I roll 2 eyeballs, so there are the shields.
Yeah.
And Kaz does not.
Unfortunate.
I say Kaz does not have the shot. So that's that. And Chris scores a point. So at the end of round 5, I'm 9-5 behind at this point because Chris is just steadily ticking up the objective on Kaz. You know, he's scored 1 for 4 rounds in a row with him now. And it is edging up. And
I mean, it's not gone yet though.
No,
You're still in good order, and
not at
Cova
all.
is going to equal it out.
But that's the point. I'm like, it's got past the point where I can just go, right, I've killed some ships, I need to start picking up some objectives, because I think I'm that far behind that it will continue to... I think I'm committed now to basically, I need to kill the list.
Yeah.
So it all plays on that. If I wanted to do that, I needed to grab something early.
Yeah, but the way you deployed kind of precluded that, right?
But I don't think my list wants to.
Like, yeah, I mean, that is also something.
With the exception of Dutch, maybe, and maybe the Sheathipede, but having the ability to have that barrel roll in when you need it, or that boost, or whatever, I think is more important for this list to concentrate on the killing. But we go into round 6, and Chris is first player this turn. So the 4s go, and Kaz does a 1 hard up. Nicely into the scrum, and takes the focus. And Cova does a 1 hard to the left, and Chris goes, balls. I kind of wanted that to bump.
Oh.
It doesn't though, it jumps over Luke. It's white because of the R4, so he just takes the focus. Luke does a 4K, because I need to turn around. I've already got a lock.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense. Fen does a 2 hard because I need to start turning around, and claims an objective because
why not?
I can't coordinate anyone. I might as well pick one up. Poe does a Talon, which he layers to make white, and then Poe takes a focus. And then Wedge does a 4K and regains his elusive.
Yep. Sadly, does not have the shenanigans that Resistance have to make that 4K white.
No. But he's fine. He's got a range 1 shot into Cova this time, so...
Yeah.
Although, we all know how well that went last time.
Yeah, he had one last time.
Yeah, that is true. So I Swarm Tactics Luke up to I6, but Poe shoots first. And Poe puts his second Protorp into Wedge.
Oh boy.
And rolls 3 hits and a crit.
After a focus, though.
Wedge rolls 2 evades. Go Wedge!
There we go. Crit, and that looks like a console fire.
That is a console fire. I did try to remember to put them up for the overlay so I could run them. And yeah, Wedge takes a console fire with 2 health left. Okay. But I think that is Poe's Protorp's done now, so that's kind of one less thing to worry about, I suppose. So Wedge rolls his console fire and takes another damage. Right, okay. And then range 1's into Cova, and this time rolls 3 hits and a crit out of hand. So that evens up from the last time. Cova's got 1 evade, rolls 1 evade, but it doesn't matter. I put the 3 through to kill her.
Cova is down, and it's 10-9.
And it's 10-9. Luke has a range 3 shot into Poe, which he takes, rolls 2 hits and a crit.
Out of hand.
Just don't need these target locks. The interesting thing is, we do have a quick shifty at the stats at the end of the game, and actually, we're almost on average. I think we're maybe 0.2, 0.3 overall on both green and red for both of us.
Yeah.
But this game, it really does come down to when those dice get rolled.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because,
I mean, that's all dice games, though.
But it was like, last turn where I rolled 2 eyes, 2 blanks with a range 1 unmodded from Wedge, and then this turn 4 results. It's the average is right, but it doesn't really tell the story. But so Poe's got 3 to dodge, and Poe rolls 1 eyeball and 2 blanks. So that is Poe's shield's gone.
Ooh.
Fen has no shot. And Kaz has a range 3 shot, which I think goes into the Sheathipede. He rolls hit crit out of hand, and the Sheathipede rolls 2 blanks and an eyeball. So direct will kill him, but it is in fact I'll put it on the overlay in a minute, stunned pilot.
Yeah, but it drops the objective.
Yeah, the one objective I've picked up all game, and he makes me drop it before I score a point.
Yeah.
Alright, okay. I've learned my lesson, it's fine. But now I'm like, okay. Alright, Wedge is on 1. But Poe's only got 4 left. Kaz has got 5, but I've got 3 ships. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, if I can trade Wedge for Poe, then happy days.
Then you've got this. Yeah. If you can finish off Poe,
or to be honest, if I can trade Wedge for 1, getting Poe down to 1.
Yeah.
And if I don't take anything on Luke, then I'm happy to throw Luke at Poe.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. But then by the same extent, when if Wedge dies, that takes Chris up to 16. If Fenn's on 1 as well. If Wedge and Fenn die, that's game.
Yeah.
So I do have to bear that in mind. I can't throw them all and just willy-nilly. So I do have to be a little bit careful, but I can't really compromise the shooting, I suppose, because I've got to kill.
Yeah, definitely.
So here we go. We roll off.
Crazy that you said there are 4 more turns in this game.
Yeah.
It must be quick turns though.
Well, still 30 minutes on the clock. So we roll off, and I'm first player, turn 7, which is not great for me, although I'm reasonably confident that Poe's coming in. Kaz does a 1 hard to try and block Wedge. Luke does a 1 straight to clear his stress, and barrel rolls up to the right. Because I wasn't sure. I mean, I say it's obvious that Poe was coming in, but I did think there was a chance that Poe dives with a hard turn to try and catch Fenn.
Yeah.
And be out of range. So I thought, I want to
cover your bases.
Cover my bases. And obviously, not knowing whether I was first or second player, Fenn will hard turn in a minute behind and can coordinate Luke a lock if he needs it. Or thing. I mean, he's already got a lock on Poe, so that's not really an issue, but could coordinate a focus if he needs to, etc. That's the beauty of the list. There are options. Wedge does a 1 bank, bumps into Kaz. Absolutely fine with that. Takes the red focus. Because that leaves my arc pretty much facing where Poe's going. Unless Poe's done a 4 straight and then boosts out, which I'm fine with because Poe's not shooting at anyone.
Yeah.
And I do coordinate a lock. Sorry, and then Fenn 2 halves round. I do coordinate a lock for Luke. He keeps it on Poe and then takes it onto Kaz as well with the R3 just for stuff. And then Poe does a 1 straight.
Sense.
Poe does a 1 straight. And then
did Kaz's false transponders ever get popped?
Yeah. So do you remember? We did actually talk about this. About turn 4 when Luke locked him, procced them, and then R3 to lock Zori.
Right, gotcha.
And it's like times like that. That's why I did it then, so it doesn't come up now.
Yeah.
But Poe does a 1 straight, takes a focus, and then Commander Poe's for a boost, which I think gets him out of Fenn and Luke's arc.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And puts in range 1 of Wedge. So we really are doing
I'll trade if you trade.
But the difference is, I'm only single modded, he's double modded, because he has got a lock.
Yeah. And he only needs to put 1 through.
But by the same extent, what he's done is he's stressed himself there, which means I know he's not shooting the next turn.
Yeah.
Because there's no way he can turn around the next turn for it. So yeah, I swarm tactics up Luke. Wedge goes first because He rolls for his console fire, which could kill him, but rolls a blank.
Yep.
So happy days.
Okay, so far.
And then he goes into Poe, range 1. Rolls hit, crit, 2 blanks.
Average.
Yeah, it means I'm putting a crit through because Wedge is knocking Poe down to 1. He rolls the focus, spends the focus, which we do remove in a minute, and takes a fuel leak.
Okay.
Luke goes into Kaz at range 2.
Did you have Bullseye? That looks so close.
Oh, Predator. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, probably did.
I'm looking at that. I can't quite tell by the angle. Like, looks like you should have Bullseye. Yeah, I just suddenly thought like, Predator.
Yeah. Damn me.
Regrets.
Regrets. But Luke goes into Kaz, and after spending a force, rolls hit, crit. Kaz rolls 2 of 8 and a focus and spends his, spends his focus.
Still keeping his box.
And then Notorious is me.
Awkward.
Alright. So yeah, still keeping his box. Fen no shot. So Poe goes range 1 into Wedge. That's where he remembers he spent his focus. And he rolls 1 crit, 1 eyeball, 2 blanks. Spends the lock.
All right, if you don't get paint with elusive and a focus. Oh wait, he had lock. Okay.
Yeah, he had a lock. So he spends the lock and ends up with 2 crits.
Okay.
I roll eyeball blank. I elusive into a focus and I spend my focus.
Yeah.
But
Wedge lives at the minute.
I'm still taking a range 1. Sorry, a range 0 because we're bumped. Shot from Kaz. And Chris picks up 3 dice and rolls 3 dice. I have to explain that Kaz's ability doesn't work at range 0.
Yeah.
Because you can't add a dice. It's just very specific. Yeah. It's the same, same way Wedge can't take one away.
Same with Gideon.
Yeah, you cannot add a dice, even if it's your pilot ability, unfortunately. Which is hence why we're looking at the cards, and I'm like, yeah, no, his ability's fine. He meets the criteria. It's just you cannot. They stipulate add or take away dice because it isn't normally a modification. So
yeah.
So we take 1 away and we re-roll 2, which I feel a little bad about because he had 2 hits, but obviously we re-roll because you've rolled too many, and ends up with hit eyeball, and I roll the 1 of 8.
Ooh. Awkward. Wedge lives.
Wedge.
Will I just pose?
Wedge lives. So yeah.
11-10 to Chris. Like the points.
11-10.
Well, the points are creeping up. Like this could abruptly end if Poe stays alive and Wedge dies.
Oh yeah. It's not clear cut by any stretch, and I'm actually like sweating quite a lot when we do this, and like But we go into round 8, and Chris is first player. And I think he did a hard turn with Kaz, but it might have been a bank. But either way, he bumps into Luke.
That looks like a hard turn attempt.
It may well have been a... Who's there?
Yeah,
maybe. But either way, he bumps into Luke and takes the red focus. Which is fine. So Luke does a 4K. Like... Screw the strain. We'll clear that on the next turn when we clear the stress. Because I know Poe's not shooting at me, so it's not an issue. Poe does a 3 straight and boosts. Wedge does a 2 hard, which thanks to the R4 clears my stress, and I then clear the console fire.
Okay, cool. I was going to say you clear that console fire, young man.
Yeah, no, I did. Like, I'm not getting shot. I cleared the console. Don't worry. And then Fen does a 2 hard. And I actually almost coordinate Wedge a target lock here to set up the next turn. But then I go, no, that's stupid. Take a focus. I've got a range 1 shot.
Yeah.
Take a focus. Because Kaz has also got a range 1 shot, I think. So there is a chance, a very reasonable chance that Fen dies here.
Yeah.
So, and that'll put Chris up to 15. With my 1 health 6-point ship. So
yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, it's it really is on a knife edge, this game. I take the focus, I take the range 1 shot, I roll 2 blanks and an eyeball. And a hit. And he rolls eyeball, blank.
Yeah, eyeball, blank, spends the focus.
It doesn't have the range 1, sorry, so it doesn't have the shot, so that's fine. Because he was checking for Notorious there.
Yeah.
So Luke shoots, spends a force for 3 hits. Kaz rolls 2 evade, so takes a damage.
Single damage. All right, we're getting there.
And that's it. So another point for Kaz. So 12-10.
That Kaz has gotten himself quite some value.
Oh yes, he has.
Isn't that like?
So he's racked up
7 points.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, 7 points.
Yeah.
Like Chris has scored 12 points. 4 of those have come from Dutch. 1 of those has come from Kova, and 7 of them have come from Kaz. So
yeah. Just go say that. Sometimes just pick up a box on a character who doesn't necessarily need to worry about the limitations, and it'll just tick over.
Yeah. So we get into turn 9, and Chris is first player again. But at this point, like, Poe's out of it enough that Poe's not going to be in the engagement this turn. So I want to see if I can basically get some guns on Kaz, because if I can put the damage through and kill Kaz, great. So Kaz, I think, just does 1 straight and focuses. And to that extent, Luke 1 banks straight into Fen.
Yep, that's fine.
I'm happy with that one, the risk of the 1 damage. And I take a shield. I've already got a lock onto Kaz. I've got the force. This was the best way to get my arc facing where I think he's going to be.
Yeah. So Fen goes straight, maybe he grabs an objective?
No. So Fen, Poe does a 4K. Put him right at the board edge, set him up to come back in the next turn. Yep, Fen does go straight, but Fen coordinates a target lock to Wedge, and the Wedge does a Talon roll.
Nice. So it's close to being in range.
Because I wasn't sure, I wasn't actually expecting Kaz to necessarily go straight, but I was expecting some sort of bank maneuver, either round the back of the rock, that sort of area, which would, this nets me, if not shot this turn, a good place to set up next turn.
Yeah.
And I've still got, at least 2 shots onto Kaz, maybe 3. So Fen goes first out the back and rolls 1 hit, which is dodged. Wedge does have the shot. So Wedge fires his last Protorp.
Oh, even nicer.
No. Wedge rolls 3 eyeballs and a hit. 3 eyeballs and a blank. Spends his lock into 1 crit.
Oh boy.
So 8 dice, 1 natural result.
Well, you know what? This is all those natties from earlier coming back to haunt you.
Well, that's what I say. It's all about the timing. But Poe blanks, but then heroics.
Kaz blanks.
Oh no, Kaz blanks. Doesn't have heroic. Sorry, wrong shit. So takes a wounded pilot.
Okay, that's fine. Drops the box. Finally.
Yeah. And then Luke goes in range 1. Rolls 1 crit, 2 hits and an eyeball. Spends a force for 3 hits and a crit. And Poe rolls 2 evades. 1 evade,
Kaz.
1 focus, and 1 blank. So dodges 2.
Kaz,
sorry.
not Poe.
I keep saying Poe. Kaz, sorry. And Kaz takes hit crit. And that hit crit is... I want to put it on the overlay. Where are you, Kaz? I've not put it on the overlay. The second crit is a hull breach. You can just see it.
Ooh, okay, so it doesn't really matter.
So yeah, Kaz is on 1. Now, I do make a bit of a mistake next turn, and I'll show you why. Basically, I know that Poe's coming in, so I'm going to set up Luke and Fen to deal with Poe. And accept that Fen probably dies in that situation. But if I can kill Poe, who's on 3, and I've got a lock already on from Luke.
Yeah. And it's not like, and Fen will still get to do a shot, right?
Yeah, and exactly. And Poe's got a fuel leak, so if he wants to get rid of that. He's going to use up one of his actions. Yeah, I know he can take 2, but it's still cutting down stuff. But Wedge, I want to send Wedge after Kaz. Because I'm expecting Kaz to turn this turn to the left. Especially with Islam. But I'm a bit of an idiot, because what I do I hedge my bets. I one straight.
Right.
And then think to myself, I can barrel roll just in case Kaz does go the other way. Kind of covers. What I think I should have done was basically one banked to the left. And then if Kaz had gone the other way, I'm not getting shot. It's not the end of the world. As you will see shortly. And I've got elusive back because obviously I just
a
talent. So we roll off for turn 10, and I'm first player this time.
Okay.
So it's been reasonably even. It's like 6-4 in Chris's favour. So it's not one-sided on the first turns.
Maybe 6-5 if you count
turn
deployment.
0. Yeah. Kaz does. I think that's a 3 bank. And then slams into a Talon.
Oh, okay, spicy.
He procs his ability, so flips the card to not take a disarm for his disabled power regulator.
Yeah, because he knows what card it is because of Kaz's fireball.
Yeah, and then he rolls for the wounded pilot and doesn't take a stress.
All right, that's pretty good.
Luke does a 3 hard and takes a focus.
Just looking at that Po.
Swings me round, gives me the widest arc. I figure that's the best way of doing it. Fen does a 1 bank and takes a focus because
he may live.
But I mean there was nothing to coordinate. I could have picked up a box, but I feel at that point if I pick up the box and die, I've wasted an action. If I focus,
definitely.
And I'm gonna get an attack, so, or at least if
you may as well. You're gonna get an attack. You may as well take the good odds that you can get.
And then Poe, I do a 1 straight and I barrel roll to the left to try and catch Poe, and I don't think that actually catches Poe. Kaz, I don't know why I keep calling him Poe. To try and catch Kaz, and I don't think I get him, but it does it keeps me in Kaz's arc. Whereas the 1 bank would have left him facing straight at him. I could have taken a lock. I could have taken a focus. I could have whatever.
Any number of things.
Yeah. I was hedging my bets and I shouldn't have. I should have committed. Because I mean, hell, I could have 1 bank. I could have barrel rolled then and dodged his arc.
Yeah, and that would have been really nice.
Yeah, especially knowing he's doing a 1 bank or a 1 straight on the next turn. So, yeah. Hindsight, that was a mistake. Poe comes in with a 3 straight.
Okay.
Takes a focus, and then spends his 2 charges to fix. I thought he fixed his fuel leak. I'm sure he's fixed his fuel leak. Because
he might just have not removed the crit marker.
Yeah, and I clearly haven't taken it off the overlay. So I spend a force to heighten perception Luke up to 7. Because,
yeah.
Right, at this point, if I can kill him, great. I roll eyeball hit crit. I spend my other force for 2 and a crit. It's range 3, so Poe's got 3. Poe rolls 2 evades and a blank, so takes the crit. And the crit's a stunned pilot, so reasonably irrelevant. And he must have fixed his fuel leak because he didn't take it. Fen has a range 2, so it takes the range 2. I roll hit eyeball. I spend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, if I plink 1 through, great. If I don't, I might get him to force him to spend his focus. So, yeah. He rolls 2 evades, though.
Oh, of course he does. And Wedge has no shot.
Poe takes the range 2 back into Fen. Rolls.
Did you fend him? No, you didn't.
No, I shouldn't have fend him. Oh, what a numpty. I mean, admittedly, I don't think Fen survives anyway. But so he rolls 1 hit, 2 eyeballs, and spends the focus for 3. Damn, should have fend him. Oh God, I would have. Oh,
Yep.
oh! So I roll one evade and one blank. I take 2 and die. Damn! If I'd fend him, I would have lived.
Yep.
Oh, sad.
Oh, the sadness of going through videos.
I know. Oh, I should offend him. And it's not like I've been forgetting it the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I did mean to ask, how often did you Tristan?
So I Tristan the first torp, because I was saving it for like the first couple of engages. I was saving it for the pro torps on, and I did it the first time, and then the second couple of times that they fired the pro torps, they weren't in range.
Right, gotcha.
I did have it in my mind there. It just fell that like Fen was away at the wrong times, or you used it on something else. So hey, but yeah, so Fen dies, and Chris goes up to.
Well, on that awkward note, Fen dies.
Yeah, Chris goes up to 16, but Kaz doesn't have a shot, so that's okay.
Nice. Okay, that's all right.
So it's 10-16. Poe's on 2. Kaz is on 1.
Wedge is on 1. Luke is on 4 and a shield.
But we have some interesting stuff here. Because Chris goes, damn. And I'm like, what? And he's like, RJ Bucket, whatever the droid is called. And he's like, I completely forgot about this. If I'd done this, I would have repaired a card as my action and RJ'd it away. And I was like, hey man, it's not a problem. Go back and do it. It's not an issue. Yeah. So he, I think he flips the hull breaches because he's got advanced slam, so he could have.
Right, so he could do an action.
So he slams, so he could have advanced slam. Like,
wait, no, can he? Can he? Because can he fix while stressed with that droid? Because he did a Talon roll, right?
I'm sure it says you can still do stuff while stressed. Hang on, let us quickly look at Yasby. Yasby will tell us. Yasby knows all.
Yasby does know all.
Where are we going? Fireball.
R1J5. You can perform actions on damage cards even while stressed. Yeah. Well, you have 2 of your stress tokens.
I thought you could.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's only got 1. So we go back because much as it's the Tin League, we're a friendly bunch, and it's Chris has already won this league. Me, if I beat him, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
So I let him go back. He repairs the hull breach.
Does he roll for his weak
no
pilot?
And then because it's R1J whatever, he spends a charge to get rid of the card.
Yeah, but no, does he when he does retroactively does the action, does he roll for the wounded pilot?
We do that in a minute because I remind him.
Okay.
And I have to admit there's a small part of me that after he repaired that card was like, maybe I shouldn't have let him do that. Like, repairing a hull breach is one thing, but suddenly gaining health back on you. But
yeah.
We're nice. And then,
it is what it is.
He does roll for the wounded pilot and gets that second stress.
Okay.
So it's alright, he's ioned, he's not having a defensive token.
I mean, he's totally one bangs into Wedge right at this point.
Yeah, for sure. But what do I do that, like, I still think I have to go after him?
Yeah.
I do consider 3 harding to the right and going after Poe. But the issue with that is if I present to Kaz and if I present to Poe and Kaz has a shot in the back, even unmodded, if he gets that 1 through, I lose this game.
Yeah, definitely.
If Wedge dies, it goes to 22. Even if I kill both ships, if Wedge dies, I lose this game. So I can't do some fancy shenanigans going over the rocks. Maybe, actually, in hindsight, what I should have done was like a 3 bank to the left.
Yeah, just get out of dodge.
But there was a part of me that was concerned that a 3 bank, if he went 1 straight, would block and I'd end up on the rock. What I think I should have done actually was a 3 hard to the left.
Yeah, just get out of the way.
But I don't. I actually make a bit of a not gung-ho play, but I 1 bank to the left.
Yeah, I figured you would. I figured it, like, because Kaz, I'm like, okay, you obviously 1 bank because you're just trying to line up a shot and hope you don't die. And I think with Wedge, you 1 bank to the left and hope that range 0 favours you. Yeah,
basically. Because I was still thinking, he's repaired 1 card, but he's still got 2 left, which I clearly didn't put on the overlay. You know, there's a not unreasonable chance I could initiative kill him.
Yeah.
So he does his ion maneuver. Oh, he will do it. And then he repairs, because I'm assuming the droid lets you do it while ioned as well.
Just says even while stressed.
Oh
I don't
no
think
no
you
no
can
no
repair
no!
it.
It's no. I know what it is. So he does his ion maneuver, which flips
Oh, flips. Damn it!
Flips.
It flips. Yeah.
flips the
Simfire
card,
regulator.
which is repairing it. He then spends a charge and takes it away, and suddenly he's got 3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this range 0 shot's suddenly looking a little bit more impossible.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, dang, basically. But Nick does a 1 straight because I don't know. Poe either goes fast, and I think I've blocked that, or Poe goes slow and we trade range 1 shots. And at this point, I've lost a shield. I've got a lock
Yeah,
and a
you
focus.
take that.
Exactly. Poe goes fast, bumps, takes the red focus, and then Wedge does this 1 bag and bumps.
Wait, hold on. Is this comes down to literally 2 range 0 shots?
Yeah, maybe.
This is turn 11. This is the last turn.
This is the last turn.
All right, let's see what happens.
So I take the red focus because
Yeah,
you know
you have to.
I have to, and I spend a force to heighten perception Luke up to 7.
Nice.
And I roll 3 hits out of hand.
Nice.
And Poe rolls 1 evade.
Oh, it takes 2 and dies. Okay, you draw it.
Poe gets initiative killed.
Yeah, Poe gets initiative killed. I like it.
But I mean, I've still got a lot of health. So Wedge range 0s into Kaz.
Hit crit.
And rolls hit crit. And Kaz rolls 3 eyeballs.
Why is he rolling 3? Oh wait, no, yeah, he can mod his own defense.
He can so he gets his extra dice. He rolls hit crit. He's got 3 left. The crit's a console fire.
Oh,
but he gets
he's
to
totally notorious, is you right?
He gets to shoot at Wedge.
Yeah, he has to notorious you.
What was that? Oh, he rolls for his console fire. He takes a damage.
Die.
No, he took a damage.
He took a damage.
He dies. So I'm on 20.
Yep.
But he's got a range 0 shot into Wedge.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure.
He has notorious me. There's the strain.
So you're down to 1.
So I'm down to 1. He's got 2. He rolls eyeball blank.
Oh, it's over! Oh my god, that's amazing.
I told you it was a good game. With like 6 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and that's that.
Alright. Yeah.
That's the power of heightened perception, people.
Well,
sometimes it's really going to get you.
Yeah. And yeah, it finishes 2016, but it was, it was a dice roll away from going either way. It was a really, really tough game. And yeah, there were some mistakes, like with forgetting a fen trigger and not committing with Wedge, but on the whole, I felt that both of us flew to a pretty high standard.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And it just came down. It really did just come down to some good dice at the right time, some bad dice at the wrong time. As I say, like the odds were pretty even and pretty average. Actually, we weren't up or down, but yeah, it was just timing, and a lot of my range 3 torps didn't do great, but then a lot of my range 0 shots did very well.
Yeah,
so...
I think no one can complain about dice. This one was pretty even.
I think I got lucky a few turns on moving second on crucial turns helped, but that is what it is. But no, a really good game. So yeah, unfortunately, I am the flying Chris's ointment, but he does finish 8-1.
Yeah, that's all right. But then again, you know what? 8-1 against Tin League, is that really that hard?
Yes, Chris. Yes, Sam. Some of us fly to a very high standard. Not me, but Chris, because he's 8-1. So yeah. On that note, I'd just like to say congratulations, Mr. Burnett.
Yeah. We disqualify.
I mean, I am the TO, so. And now you and I and Snappy duke it out for second place. Or to be fair, let's not count out Mr. Vickery.
That's true.
Who's only lost 1 game so far, so.
But he's only played 2, so he's got to get his games in. But yeah, he's on the course.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And then the four of us are pretty much guaranteed the next 4 spots.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, a good game, a fun game. I've got, obviously, the next event that I'm doing, the GSP qualifier this weekend, where I will be taking my Republic. So I'll let you guys know how that goes when we record next week.
Nice.
Ironically, this will upload on the Sunday night after I found out how I've done. So if this title is randomly titled "God Damn the Republic," it didn't go well. But no, it was. This was a good game, a really good game, and a really interesting one to look at, because it's hard to pick up on, I suppose, game-changing mistakes. I don't think there were any. It's just the little niggly
bits. Like remembering triggers. Like I feel like that was the one for this game.
Yeah, like Fen. I mean, Fen living there, does it change anything?
Yes.
Maybe. I mean, I could have blocked Poe with Fen. Pardon me, I suppose, but
no, it does change things because all of a sudden, then, like, yeah, if Luke doesn't kill Poe in that one shot, like Poe still has to make a choice, right?
Yeah, that's true. And actually, with Fenn still alive, even if Wedge had died, then I'd still be ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a good point. But hey, we had better wrap it up because
yeah,
we're rubbing on again. So thanks everyone for listening and watching. That's pretty much all there is to say this week. No, it's pretty self-explanatory as we went through. So we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, ta-ta everyone.
Bye.